Okay, let's talk about amines. Super important topic in organic chemistry, right? But making them, well, that's where it gets tricky. Some ways give you this total mess of different products, while others give you exactly what you want, a pure, clean result. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the 4 big methods for preparing amines, the ones you absolutely have to know for your exam. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll know which method is which, why it works, and most importantly, how to dodge those tricky questions they love to ask on the CUET. Ready? Let's get into it. All right, I'm going to start you off with a question, a real exam-style question. Imagine this. You've got 4 different ways to make an amine. Which one do you pick if you need a pure, primary amine and you can't have any other junk mixed in? This is a classic for a reason. It really tests if you get the core concept. So, keep that question in the back of your mind as we go through this, because we're definitely going to find the answer.
So why are we spending so much time on this? Simple. The examiners absolutely love testing these preparation methods, and they're not just going to ask you to name them. Oh no, they're going to dig into the details, the exceptions, the outcomes. Getting this right, that's some easy marks right there.
So, what's the CUET going to throw at you on this? First, they'll expect you to pick the right method for the job. Second, and this is a big one, a really common trap, you've got to watch that carbon count. Does it stay the same? Does it change? You have to know. Then, of course, the whole pure product versus messy mixture thing is huge. And finally, they love asking about making aromatic amines, like aniline. Don't worry, we're hitting every single one of these points. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me give you the single best piece of advice for this topic. Don't just sit there trying to memorize a bunch of equations. It's not going to work. Instead, focus on understanding the logic behind each reaction. Why does one method give you a mess? Why does another one lose a carbon atom? I promise you, if you get the why, you can solve any problem they come up with. Guaranteed. All right, let's get to the heart of it, the 4 key methods for preparing amines. We're going to break each one down piece by piece and really focus on what makes it unique. That way you can compare them in your head and know exactly which tool to use for which job. This table right here is your perfect cheat sheet. Look at aminolysis. What's the key word? Mixture. It gives you primary, secondary, tertiary. It's a mess. Now jump over to Gabriel synthesis. Total opposite. It gives you a pure, primary, aliphatic amine. Clean. Then there's Hofmann. The big deal here? You lose a carbon. And finally, nitroreduction. That's your go-to for making aromatic amines. See how different they all are? Now let's zoom in on a really common point of confusion. Aminolysis versus Gabriel. With aminolysis, the problem is that the amine you just made is still reactive. So it just attacks another molecule and then another, and you end up with a messy soup of products. Not good. But the Gabriel synthesis is clever. It has a built-in protection mechanism that stops all that extra nonsense, so you get only the pure primary amine. That difference is absolutely critical. Okay, everyone, pencils down, eyes here. This is what I call a CUET golden line. You need to burn this into your brain. The Gabriel phthalimide synthesis method gives you only primary, 1-degree aliphatic amines. It does not work for aromatic amines like aniline. They test this exception all the time, so make sure you know it. And now for the Hofmann reaction. If you remember one thing about this, it's the 1 carbon less rule. You start with an amide, and the amine you get as a product has 1 fewer carbon atom. Bam, it's gone. Why? Because that carbonyl carbon gets ripped out of there. So on your exam, if you see a reaction where the carbon chain gets shorter, your brain should immediately scream, Hofmann. Okay, deep breath. You now get the logic behind these 4 methods, but understanding it today and remembering it on exam day are 2 different things, right? So how do we make sure this stuff actually sticks? Let's talk memory aids and a little bit of practice. Here are a few silly little tricks that work wonders under pressure. For aminolysis, just think aminolysis is a messy synthesis because you get that mixture. For Gabriel, think Gabriel is gentle because it gives you that 1 pure, gentle product. And for Hofmann, remember, Hofmann takes a half step back because you lose a carbon, stepping back in the chain. Simple, but they work. All right, time to put your brain to the test. Real exam-style question here. Which of these methods gives you only a primary amine? Look at those options. A, B, C, or D? Go ahead and pause right here, really think about it, and lock in your answer. And the correct answer is B, Gabriel synthesis. Remember our little trick? Gabriel is gentle.
It's the one specifically designed to give you a pure primary amine, avoiding that messy situation you get with aminolysis. If you got that right, awesome job. You're on the right track. Knowing the right answer is only half the battle. Now we need to talk about the other half, actively dodging the traps and mistakes that so many students fall for on this exact topic. Let's make sure you're not one of them.
Okay, listen up. These are the big mistakes you need to watch out for. First, people forget that aminolysis is messy. They think it gives a pure product. It doesn't. Second, and this is a huge one, they forget the carbon count goes down in the Hofmann reaction. It's the one carbon less rule. Don't forget it. And finally, a super common error is thinking you can use Gabriel synthesis to make aniline. You can't. It's only for aliphatic amines. Know these traps so you can step right over them.
We are almost there. We've covered a lot, so let's lock it all in with a super fast, rapid-fire review of the most important points before we wrap up.
This is your quick revision sheet. Let's hammer it home one last time. Aminolysis gives you a mixture. Got it. Gabriel synthesis gives you only primary aliphatic amines. The Hofmann reaction means you get one less carbon, and nitroreduction is your #1 way to make aromatic amines. Go ahead and screenshot this slide. It's perfect for that last-minute look before you walk into the exam hall.
And that's it. You now have the complete blueprint for how to think about, compare, and remember these key amine preparation methods. So now the question is for you, since you've got this framework for learning, what's the next big, complex topic you're going to use it on in your studies? Drop a comment below and let us know. Thanks for watching and keep up the amazing work.